my channel According to Tish. Tish here, and today I am going over all of the things that I wish I would have known or even thought about before trying to conceive. So before even getting on this journey, I wish I would have known about these things. So here's a little background about me and my journey. I am single. I have been trying to conceive as a single mom by choice through insemination. I have been on this journey. March will be 2 years since the initial start of me actually taking the steps of going to a fertility doctor. So we are shy of 2 months there. July will be the 2-year mark of me actually trying to conceive with the first insemination. Of course, I did not do every month for the past few years. I have only done 7 inseminations, so therefore I don't feel like I can technically say that I have been trying this whole time, just because it's been off and on within this time frame. But just the whole journey in itself has been for almost 2 years. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump in. So the first thing that I want to talk about as far as what I wish I would have known before trying is the simple fact that pregnancy doesn't just happen because the semen meets the egg. When you're in school and sex ed class, like, they make it seem that you have sex, you get pregnant. And granted, that might be true for a 16, 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old person, where, you know, they're just extra fertile. But, like, they make it seem like you touch a guy, you're gonna get pregnant. Like, they make pregnancy seem like such an easy thing. And I get it, it's a scare tactic to scare kids off. But, like, it's like, I get it. Yes, you try to do that to scare us to not have sex. Wrong way of going about it, because now we're older, we want to have babies, and we're thinking, oh, all it takes is for the egg and the sperm to meet, and that's just not the case. Even with IVF, there have been several times where they go and get that sperm to the egg, and that egg still does not fertilize. So it's like, I wish I would have realized that, because I was under the impression that if that sperm enters the egg is going to be fertilized and you're going to be pregnant. I thought that was the case. And that's just not true. Like, which leads us to our next thing that I wish I would have understood completely, is that it's not about planning. Like, I was so strategic. I was very strategic about everything with my ovulation test, and, you know, really charting down my cycle and knowing what was going on. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna know, because I'm gonna know when I'm ovulating, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna have my insemination, and I'm gonna get pregnant, and it's gonna work on the first time, because it's gonna be all about the timing. I'm gonna have the right timing. That is not the case. It is not only about timing. It is really about your body and your body's cycle. Like, it depends on each woman's own body cycle as far as pregnancy is concerned. Like, that cycle has nothing to do with your ovulation cycle, your period cycle. It is just the time when your body conceives. So yes, it's all about timing, but not just about planning. Yes, it's helpful to know when you're ovulating. It's helpful to understand your cycle, but I wish I would have understood that, hey, it might not be time for me. Like, this time might not be time for me. And there are people in my family who have their kids like the same time. Like, all of their kids' birthdays are like within a week of each other's. You know, of course, like years apart, but still like in a week, because they were only able to conceive during that time period, you know, within their body's cycle. Does that make sense? Like, I hope I'm making sense to you with that. Because, like, we always think, oh, well, if I know this and I know that, I'm going to get pregnant. But this is why you have women who are completely healthy with completely healthy partners, and it still can take up to 2 years for you to conceive. So just keep it in mind that you can conceive at the exact moment of ovulation and it still not take, because again, it's about your body and your cycle. Which goes on to my next thing, ovulation test strips. So I definitely was all about planning it out, knowing the time when I was ovulating. I used the Clear Blue digital ovulation test to know exactly when I was ovulating, just to make sure that when I did my insemination, it was at the right time. I didn't try this test strips because everybody on YouTube always talks about them as being the cheap old test strips. And I was not about to go and waste money on something that was cheap. Like, why? Why would I do that? So because everybody kept talking about them in a negative way, I shied away from them. Until one YouTuber was finally like, no y'all, these are the best thing sent to the planet Earth. And I was like, okay, well let me go ahead and try them and see, because there was one time when I used my Clear Blue and it said that I wasn't ovulating, and then I went and tested again, and then that same day I was. So I'm like, something's wrong here. Let's try the test strips. So I love the test strips. I'm so mad that I didn't use them the whole time, because they, for me, are a little bit more accurate. Once you use the Clear Blue, you are not supposed to use it again for another 24 hours. Whereas with the test strips, you can test all day. And I'm definitely going to do a video just explaining the two, comparing the two, and letting you know why I like one more than other. And then also looking at testing using your thermometer. The next thing that I want to talk about that I wish I would have known before is just how much TTC would take over my life. Like, I found myself where I was like, oh, well, I can't plan a trip with you in 3 months because I might be pregnant. Oh, well, I don't know what I can do next month because, you know, I don't know when I'm going to be ovulating. Oh, I can't do this next year because I might be pregnant. So I was just like, girl, live in a moment. Like, stop planning these things. Well, the ovulation kind of like, that one's still like, yeah, I might be ovulating, so I'll let you know. But like, as far as the whole pregnancy thing, I was just like, I have to stop doing that because it is taking over my life. Like, I'm sitting here saying I can't do anything because I might be. Oh no, we'll wait. If I am, then we'll figure something out later. But no, it really was just taking over every part of my life. Like, I couldn't do anything. Which goes to the next thing, just how stressful this whole process is. Oh my gosh, like, I knew there would be some stress, but I didn't think it would be to the level that it is. Like, I always say, even before I started, that, oh, it's a good idea to have like a therapist or a psychologist or psychiatrist, like someone to talk to, especially like if you're getting those no's and it's just not working. But I just never knew like the level of stress that it causes on your body. And it's like, your body doesn't need to be stressed, because if it's stressed, you're not going to get pregnant. I know this all too well. But I just like, I wish I would have really thought about how stressful it would be. And with me being single, I don't always have that support. I don't always have that person I can go and talk to, which is why I love the community that I have here with my channel, because like, we can talk to each other with the comments. So make sure you leave your comments, because I do love your comments. I love your feedback. But like, it is just so stressful, especially when you're trying to talk to people who have no clue what you're talking about, because they've never had a TTC journey. Like, they don't have to try, they just get pregnant, or they've never tried to get pregnant. So they can't relate to you. So it's really important to have somebody to talk to. Alright, so the next thing that I wish I knew before I started the TTC journey was to just be prepared for the unexpected. And that is health-wise as well as financially. If you are going about this with a partner, then you might not have to worry too much financially. You will not even worry, but just think about, be prepared for financially. But there are still things that come up even when you are doing this with your partner and not doing it like how I was with an IUI or using fertility treatment, which of course is going to cost you money, especially if your health insurance doesn't cover it. So I wasn't expecting to find a cyst on my ovary still. Like, I found the cyst on my ovary back in 2002. So here we were now in 2017, meeting my fertility doctor, having my first checkup with my ultrasound done, and seeing the cyst was there that I thought had left. you know, 15 years earlier. So that was like unexpected because she was worried about it, which led me to have to go get an MRI done to make sure that, you know, it was just there. It was not an active cyst. And my health insurance does not cover MRIs. So that was a $1,000 bill that I had not factored in when I set up my budget. So financially, like, it's important to make sure that you just have your budget set aside, not only for the baby once the baby comes, but also those what ifs that might pop up throughout that process of trying to conceive. Just so that you are covered from every corner. And also with just the health, like I mentioned already, just the whole journey is very stressful. Finding out, you know, things about your health or about your reproductive health that could hinder that is, you know, that's some things that you just don't expect. Finding out that you might be infertile, especially if it's unexplained infertility. Like, those are things that you know you don't really expect, especially if you've led a healthy lifestyle. So it's just like, just be prepared for the what ifs. Just have like your backup plan set, have a financial budget set with your added expenses just for those emergencies, just so that you are covered if those things happen. If they don't, then you know you plan well, you were fine, you're all good to go. But if they do, like, you will be ready and covered as much as you possibly can be ready for the unexpected. And the last thing that I want to talk about, and I'm sorry because I'm kind of ending it on a negative note, but the last thing that I had no understanding of, didn't really understand it at all until it happened to me. My first IUI ended in a early miscarriage. I miscarried at 6 weeks, and I did document that just because I was documenting my whole journey, and you know that was a major part of it. Speaking to the doctor, I was just like, well, what caused it? And of course, because mine was so early on, there was like no testing done or anything. He said that it was probably a genetic mutation. And I was like, but I had my my test done, and you know it came back that I was clear from all different types of genetic abnormalities. Yeah, that had nothing to do with genetic mutation, but I didn't understand that. So I was sitting there like, okay, so it wasn't me because, you know, I was cleared, so it must have been my donor sperm. Like, maybe he had a problem. Yeah, that has nothing to do with your genes, his genes. It could have to do with your age, your egg quality, like that kind of stuff, the surrounding, your uterine lining, all of that could affect it. But yeah, I had no understanding of it. I didn't even know that that was like a thing. So I wish I would have known more about that going in. I always thought, like, I knew that miscarriages happen, but I always thought that there was a reason, like you would find out a reason, and that it wouldn't be just put off to genetic mutation. So that was something I was like, okay, I should have done some more research on to fully understand what that term meant, but I didn't until it happened. So that was one of those unexpected things that I wasn't prepared for, that I wish I would have been. And while I was talking about miscarriage, just the whole understanding of how common they are, that 1 out of every 4 pregnancies will end in a miscarriage statistically. And you know, that's just something that's just not talked about. And that's another reason why I wanted to share that, because it's just not something that's talked about, and it's very common, and people feel like they're alone and they're going through it by themselves. So yeah, I wish I would have understood that how more common they are than not. before starting the process. Alright guys, so those are the things that I wish I would have known about before trying to conceive. Thank you again for joining me on my journey and joining me today. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. That really helps me with other people finding my videos. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're getting really close to 600 subscribers. And I am pushing to get to 1,000. So make sure that you share my videos with your friends and family. I love you guys, and I will see you on Sunday for another video. Bye.